Most Christians agree that it's the man's job to pursue, but what often happens is that this phrase is said so often by so many people that a man should pursue. Oftentimes, women forget how difficult this still is for men to actually do. And if a woman isn't aware of a few insecurities in a man that often prevent him from pursuing, well, she may inadvertently feed those fears and prevent him from pursuing, whereas if she knew about these insecurities and did a few things a little differently, this dramatically increases the chances of a good man pursuing her. So here are 3 insecurities about pursuing a woman that men often have that women really need to know about. And really quick, just so you guys know, I made 6 more points about the insecurities of a man, and they more relate to the dating and the transitioning into marriage. But that video was going to be huge and it was going to take way too long. So if you're interested in that video, let me know by getting this video up to 2,000 likes. I don't want to waste time making that video if this one isn't a topic that you're interested in, because it's going to be kind of like part 2. So if you want that part 2 about the relationship insecurities when you're actually dating him and why he might struggle to transition from dating to marriage, again, let's get this video up to 2,000 likes. That'll help me know, okay, that's a topic the audience wants to hear about. Number 1, will I get rejected and look like a fool? I just read a comment recently on a video I made about how women can do some things to be a little bit more proactive and inviting. I made it really clear in that video that women should not be pursuing men. And there was a comment that I think crystallizes and is a good representation of how a lot of women feel. This comment from this female viewer said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not pursuing no man. If he's interested, he is going to have to step up to the plate. Nothing is worse than going after a man and him telling you, 'Sorry, I have a girlfriend,' or 'I'm married.'" What I really find interesting about that comment is that, again, this video was not about pursuing a man, and I made it really clear in this video. It was rather about a woman doing something to invite the man rather than just sitting on her hands doing nothing. So it seems like this viewer and the person who made this comment is saying a woman doing anything is her pursuing the man. So why am I talking about this? The point I'm making here is that men fear rejection just like this woman expressed. I'm not arguing that what she said was valid, like that really hurts. She said nothing is worse than when you go and invite a man, she used the word pursue, and he says no, basically. And that's exactly how men feel. They feel like relationally, there's nothing worse than pursuing a woman and getting rejected. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because if you as a woman do not recognize that men also have this fear of rejection and looking like a fool, men aren't going to pursue you. Rather, they're going to pursue the women who make it just a little bit easier for them and ease some of those insecurities that a man has about pursuing this woman that he's interested in. If you just ignore that and say, well, I'm too scared, I can't do anything, and then the guy's like, well, this other woman I kind of like too is making it a lot easier for me, so I'm gonna go this way. Again, I'm not saying a woman should pursue a man. I'm just saying that if she's disconnected, cold, not enthusiastic when he does make effort, this is going to feed his insecurities about being rejected. So you have to positively reward the effort he's putting in to overcome those fears. And just to be clear here, I'm not saying you can make this man overcome his fears. If he's that insecure and he doesn't like you that much, well, that's his problem. You can't do anything about that. But again, big picture, especially early on in the relationship when he doesn't really know you that well and doesn't really know other women that well, it's just he's trying to figure out and going towards women he likes and trying to pursue women that seem to like him too. So to help you see this point a little bit, I would encourage you just to take out your Bible and flip through the book of Song of Solomon. The whole book is a back and forth between the man and woman. It wasn't just the man or just the woman. They were both showing their interest in each other. Number 2, if I seem too interested and too nice too soon, she will view me as weak. As guys observe women, they make conclusions. They're drawing inferences. And this one I'm about to share is, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying this is what's happening. So a lot of guys look out into the world and even in the church, and they see women giving more attention to bad boys, so to speak, versus the nice guys. And so that's the observation they make. The conclusion they make is women like guys who mistreat them. If I treat a woman too good, she won't like me. Now, I have a different interpretation of what's happening here. I do agree with a lot of guys who are observing the same things. I too think that many times the women are giving more attention to the bad boys, so to speak, and the nice guys kind of get ignored. However, I have a different interpretation on why that's happening. I don't think these women like men who mistreat them. I don't think that's why women are sometimes more attracted to the guy who has more edge to him rather than the nice guy. Rather, my interpretation is that we live in a society that has worked very hard to emasculate men. The feminist agenda has been to make men from a young age resemble more of the traditional feminine qualities. But here's the thing. Even these women who ascribe to that feminist agenda, which I disagree with, that toxic femininity, that toxic feminist agenda, well, those women still like masculine men. Even though they're trying to raise boys into more feminine men, they still can't help being attracted to more masculine men. And my point I'm saying here is that the bad boys, the guys who aren't so nice, seem to project more masculine energy oftentimes than the overly nice guys who are projecting more of a feminine energy. So again, it's not that the women like being mistreated, it's that they're attracted to the masculinity that these guys are projecting. That's a big topic. I can talk more about it if you want me to. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments and I can talk more about this subject here. That way I know if this is something you're interested in. But the takeaway for this video is that as a godly woman, make sure you're rewarding the type of behavior you want from a man. If you want a man who treats you well, give attention to the man who treats you well. Don't fall for the cultural lie that nice guys are weak guys, or that strong men are the ones who are not so nice and don't really care, and well, those are just the masculine guys. Don't fall for that trap. Now, here's the thing. Some nice guys are weak, but don't assume that just because a guy is nice, that automatically means he's weak. And number 3, does she like someone else? And is she still connected to her ex? Men crave loyalty. They don't want to have anything to do with sharing a woman's heart with some other guy or an ex that she's still connected to. Notice how clear Song of Solomon chapter 2 verse 3 makes this point. As an apple tree among the trees of the forest, so is my beloved among the young men. So she made it clear who she was interested in and how she felt about the other guys. As a woman, if you spend a lot of time with other guy friends, the pursuers are going to assume that you like those guy friends. Now, you might disagree and say, we're just friends. Men shouldn't assume that. Maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. I'm not going to debate that right now. I'm just telling you that's how it is. If you spend a lot of time with guy friends, other guys who would pursue you aren't going to pursue you because they have an insecurity and a fear about she probably likes those guys. And I'm not saying that's wrong because in a lot of cases, let's be honest, you do. And it goes both ways. A lot of times, single people who like each other have friendships together. I'm not saying that's bad, that's normal. But if you're a woman who's spending time with friends who you really aren't romantically interested in, and they're men, again, that's gonna push other guys away. The other thing you wanna consider is talking about your ex, sounding like you're hurt still from your ex, talking about your previous relationship, all of that sends the signal to the man that you're not over him. And if you're not, hey, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go through that process. But if you are over him, just don't talk about it. There's no point. If he asks you a question or something that you want to talk about, that he wants to talk about, just to kind of get to know you more, that's fine. But just be careful you don't inadvertently sound more wounded than you are, caring about him more than you do, still thinking about him. Just be careful you don't miscommunicate that, because that's going to be a detractor from him continuing to pursue you. Just like you, this man has insecurities, whether they be small or big, about being your number one choice. It's difficult when you're single and you're trying to date and you don't know where everyone stands. Everybody wants to be their partner's number one choice. So if you're inadvertently doing things that are feeding that fear in him, he's not going to pursue you. But if you make it clear, yeah, I really like you and I don't like these other guys, and you do that in your own way, your own personality can shine through and do that in a way that's true of you, he's going to be much more likely to feel at ease in his pursuit of you. Subscribe for more relationship advice from a biblical perspective. I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com. Until next time, God bless.